You got to know that you're beloved by the fan base already. Do you feel that like does that come into your world that you understand how much people already love your game and the way you're playing for the Nets?
I definitely figured that out after like a first few games. I don't use Twitter much, but then I signed into my Twitter and it was like my feed. It was
Mm.
just all fans. And then when I had that big game, I gained like 13 or 14,000 followers in one night.
You mean the 29 point?
Yeah.
So so you looked up, there's a shot of you may have seen it on Yes where you look up at like the scoreboard at the
Mhm.
end of the game. Did you not know that you had, been on the precipice of 30 points?
I had no idea. The thing is, like, I think I knew when I passed my career high. I think it was like a floater or something, but I didn't realize like I scored so quick, and like we were playing the Kings, so I was guarding De'Aaron Fox, so I had to get sprinted back every time, so I couldn't look up, and I usually don't even look up there.
Mm.
So when I finally looked up, I was like, oh shit.
Did you have the career high in mind? You already knew that going into
Yeah,
it?
I knew I passed my career high.
Uh-huh.
My career high was like 22 at the time, so I think it was like a floater like James gave me. Yeah, I knew I passed that,
Love
but
that.
I didn't know I had 29. I would have tried
Yeah,
to make that. I would have tried to make that layup at the end, get 30.
I just love that, because a lot of guys, they obviously, everyone kind of is cognizant of what they're doing on the floor, their stats and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I love that what your description was, you had to play defense. That's what people love about you, particularly for this team, is that you're willing to, D up basically. And you're the greatest center in the NBA.
Trying to
What,
be is
what,
working.
yeah, so we're going to talk a lot about like where you came from in your career and stuff like that. When did it become real for you that you're basically at times playing center, in some ways, at least offensively for the Nets? Like how did you kind of get into that evolve into that spot basically?
I think they wanted defense on the floor when KD, James, and Kai's out there. So sometimes we go small, and then like I'm the four. KD doesn't really want to play the big, I don't think, even though he's 7 feet. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I just have to be physical down there, do what I can. They're gonna score the ball, so I know they're gonna help off me. So if I can set screens, slip out, I'll get easy layups. So I kind of realized that I think the Warriors game.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. I was reading James Edwards the third. He covered the Pistons for the
Mhm.
Athletic, and you guys did this like video breakdown. I think it was a few years ago. You must have been a rookie or second year in the league, and it was all about you D'ing up Harden. It was like, how
Yep.
do you stop James Harden? Um, you had the teams weren't, you had some talent. You had Blake and all that in Detroit. What is it like now? How different is it for you now when you're playing with those three guys that the Nets have right now?
Yeah, they just make the game a lot easier, offensively and defensively. James talks a lot. And then offensively, man, I just find spots where I can get open. They're gonna have to double Kai, especially he's gonna getting 40 a night right now. They're gonna double James, and when KD comes back, they're gonna have to double him in the post. So they're gonna have to leave somebody, and that's me. And I'm usually open right under the basket, so it's an easy layup finish, and I'll take those those easy buckets.
When you were playing at Vermont Academy, was it like that for? Was it this easy for you too? When you
No,
Yeah.
the
Take us
whole
back.
scouting report, even in
Yeah.
college, though, I was on the scouting report as a scorer.
Mm.
Like so
I
now,
remember that Miami, right? You
yeah,
were you were
yeah,
like
I had
the
like 30-point games, 25-point games. Like,
How were you getting to your spots in Miami and Vermont?
it was all pick and roll.
Yeah.
Or like I
Got
was
it.
catching shoot three.
Uh-huh.
But it was just like different when you have like the ultimate, like you're the offense, like coach is giving you the ball to let you do your thing. But now we got three superstars, so I kind of got to pick my spots when to score and when to pass.
you're ready to stop Embiid in the playoffs? Is that you're going to
I
be
can
the
do that.
Embiid?
I can do that. There's gonna
Okay,
be a
I
lot of
love it.
fronting
No,
though.
no
I'm not
pause.
I'm not
Yeah.
standing behind them. I tell you
Yeah.
that. I can't let them catch the ball.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Everyone's so obsessed. Like this next season, once you get the talent on this team, everyone's so obsessed with what that's going to be like. But I don't want to focus too much. Like we have so much season left, you
Mhm.
know, and and what has been one of the joys of the year is watching you. I remember when the Nets traded for you, and like I was excited because I remember you in Detroit. Your defense first guard. You had some versatility on offense. I don't think anyone could have expected that you would be playing this well, at least from the outside. I'm sure you did yourself. What did you think when you got traded? I would imagine it was shocking getting traded from the Pistons because they could use someone like, I mean, every team could use someone like you, but they could have used someone like you. So
thing is, like, I was coming off a good year. Like, I played well, I shot the ball well, like I did everything well. And then when I got traded, the day I got traded, I was walking into the facility to work out. And I just got my COVID test. I'm walking in, about to walk into the gym, and I get a call from Troy Weaver. And told me I was traded. But I felt like weird at the moment because I didn't know what to do. Like, I was already in the facility. Like, what do I just get up and leave? Like, do I say bye to everybody?
Could have told me before I got the test.
Yeah, before I even got there, like this morning. But yeah, I felt weird. But then I seen like they traded me for like Musa, who was the first round pick in my draft, and the second round pick. So I was like, dang, I actually probably did something for myself last year and the year before. Made a name for myself a little bit. But yeah, my first 2 weeks, I felt weird. I didn't know anybody. It was like rookie year all over again. And then training camp hit, so it was cool. It was cool though.
And I just want you to know, we were telling Nash via Twitter that he should have been playing you earlier on, but obviously you were getting some. I don't. Were you getting some DNPs early on?
Yeah, I didn't play at all. I think I played like 5 minutes in the preseason, and then I didn't play like the first few games.
What shifted for you? What, I mean, besides obviously coach putting you in more, what do you think you showed early on that then you became? I mean, obviously you evolved into a starter, and what early on do you remember maybe something clicking, or that moment when you kind of realized like, oh, I'm gonna prove myself in this moment and try to get some more minutes here?
I think the game for me was the Jazz when he finally put me in, and I had like 6 and 5. I think I just tried to go in there and just give energy. I think at some points we were a little dead. Our offense was a little dead, so just giving them a little spark out there, it helped that game. And then I think Denver, when I had a huge game, I started at the one when Kai was out. I think that gave him confidence to put me on the floor, and he knew what I could do.
What this season? I mean, it's probably been so weird because, well, one, you're on this super team, you know, you're with these guys, and then your old buddy Blake shows up out of nowhere.
Join the party.
When obviously, so like the story of Blake Griffin, you know, he kind of, him and the team with the Pistons, they made that decision to find a new home for Blake eventually, and depending whether it was a trade or whatever. Are you texting when you find this? Are you texting him and saying like, "Hey, Brooklyn is good"? I know he says he talked to Durant a lot. How does that work? Like, do you, as a player, do you feel like, let me see if I can slide into his, you know, DMs and try to get him back?
So when we played Detroit this year, me and Blake got into it, and I got a text.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I was talking a lot of Nestle. I was talking crazy.
Yeah. Love that.
So he said he was talking back to me. He said something crazy. So we didn't really talk that much.
It was beef. It was slightly beef.
It was like low-key beef. So when he signed here, he actually DM'd me and was like, "Hey, you still mad at me?" Question mark.
That's great. I love that.
No, I didn't text him during. But yeah, he DM'd me after the fact, and I was like, "No, we good, bro. It was just in the game."
Love that.
You just start a fight with him, you know, just get some blood boiling or something.
Yeah, and of course,
you know?
I get the tech. I'm like, I can't afford that. Give him the tech.
What was the game when you were kind of like, there was like you and some guys on a bench on another team? Was it your 29-point game where, like, I remember you hit like a 3 and you kind of like turned around to the opposing team?
Did that shimmy?
Yeah.
It was against the Kings. It was against the 29.
What was going on there?
I think, who was it? Chemezi Metu. I did pre-draft with him.
Okay.
He was saying something to me, and then the other point guard, Corey Joseph, and then one of the coaches was saying something, saying like it was off or something, and I just already hit once. Like I felt good.
The coaches were dogging it too.
I knew that one was going in.
Yeah.
And then I had to do something. If the third one went down, I don't know what I would have did.
I remember in the moment thinking like, well, I don't know if it was out of character, but I was like, holy shit, like something's happening right now. Like there's some activity.
That shimmy came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I've never done that before.
That was from the soul. That was deep inside. That should be waiting to get out.
How different is it? It seems like I remember in the bubble, did Detroit go to the bubble?
We didn't go to the bubble.
So you probably saw it, was that there was a lot more like back and forth. It seemed like between guys on the floor and guys on the bench. Like the guys on the bench became almost like the fans for the team at that time. Is there more shit talking basically without fans because there's sort of like there's less interference? If you can really hear guys and coaches say shit, or is it basically the same regular sort of energy and pattern to it all?
I think it's the same. Nobody really says much unless you're playing the Knicks and Theo's on the bench. He just talks all fucking night. Other than that, no, it's the same bull that people say. Nothing too crazy.
So we all obsess over this Knicks Nets thing. Nets fans, Knicks fans all growing up together. Is it a rivalry for you guys, or is it just not? It's just another team. I would think it's just another team, though. For you.
Yeah, for me, it's just another team. But me being from Boston, New York teams is, I play for that, so I'll take this to heart.
What do you want to say right now, Bruce?
Yeah,
I feel like you want to say some shit.
Doesn't like New York teams.
You're trying to be polite.
I'm a Red Sox fan. I don't really like the Yankees.
He's a Celtics stan. There it is.
Yeah.
So, I'll definitely take the rivalry to heart. It was definitely more energy in the gym last night. So I'm glad. I can't wait till everybody's in there. Like it's a filled arena. But you could definitely hear fans there last night.
So you were you a Celtics fan growing up?
I was a Celtics fan growing up.
Who was your guy? Was it Pierce?
No, it was Rondo.
Really?
Rondo.
It's a good Rondo fan.
Yeah.
So what did you've probably played against Rondo, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you say anything to him? Like, do you say,
nah,
Rayshawn? I had posters of you on my wall.
I wanted to so bad, but I didn't say anything to him. And I had a chance to walking out of after the game, walking into the tunnel. He said what up to me, and I was just like, what up, and kept pushing. I was like, I wanted to say something so bad, but I can't. My pride won't be put aside on this one.
What did you like about Rondo's game? Because I mean, the Celtics had so many guys you could have kind of.
Yeah, he just did everything. Like I feel like my game, I do a little bit of everything. I don't do one thing. So yeah, he just made it work out there with the superstars he had on his team.
I know we talked about Blake a little bit. What should we expect from Blake Griffin? I think he was like joking about how the dunks are going to come back.
The last time he dunked the ball in a game, I assisted him.
There it is. That's the missing ingredient. Yeah, I
literally assisted him. I think it was against the Pacers. I passed it to him. He did like
2019, right?
Yeah.
So are we going to see that again? Are you going to get?
I hope I'm the first one to assist him on his dunk, because that'll mean something. Then we can put like the videos back to back.
Yeah, perfect.
But it can't be like a weak dunk.
No,
it got to be like a crazy.
It's got to be right. Yeah. After all the buildup, now it's too much.
Has to be maybe like a lob or something, but I don't. Yeah. I mean, he can still jump. I've seen him dunking in practice.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting to have. When he signed with the Nets, you get all those Lob City. Him and DeAndre and all that stuff. I mean, DeAndre obviously still gets down.
DJ don't got no bounce no more. He don't.
Claxton took it all.
Claxton got that bounce. Yeah,
Claxton last night.
Lefty.
Yeah, that was bonkers.
That was nice.
So how you feeling? Like, so there was a key moment. You probably didn't see it because you were obviously playing in the game. I think it was. What was the game before the Knicks game?
Celtics.
It was some.
It was Celtics.
No, it was someone before that. It doesn't matter. But
edit that out. Yeah.
There was a moment at the end of the game when the game was over.
Mm-hmm.
DeAndre and James Harden had like a thing where they were like talking out stuff on the floor, and we talked about this with Jeff Green too. It was like when you have league pass and when the game goes to timeout, they just put a camera like on the bench and you could just see the players all talking with each other. The coaches aren't there yet, so the players are just all talking to each other. How much, like, it feels like this team is like constantly really trying to, you guys are always trying to improve, and that seems like a silly thing to say because of course everyone is, but there seems to be like a special amount of communication that continually happens amongst you guys, because I feel like, this is me inferring, that you guys know the expectations and know where you want to be. Do you feel that too, or is that me being a silly guy on the couch?
For sure. We know we got to get better on the defensive end, so we try to communicate as much as possible. James and DJ always bump heads a lot because maybe they mess up the rotations, or James thinks DJ should do something different. But we just try to talk it out, communicate, and once we get better at that, shit, we're gonna be unstoppable. We just need to get stops though. We get stops, we blow everybody out.
It was a Pistons game. That's the one. It was stuck in my crop.
Yes, the Pistons.
Yeah, of course, I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Do you still hold something? Does it feel weird to get traded and be like, you know what? I hate you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Like the first game we played in Detroit, I wanted to kill them so bad. I think I was like too energetic, like doing too much. And then last game, I tried to be like more calm. Didn't work. So when we go back there, I think I got something coming.
Yeah.
Don't control your emotions. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I got to stay even kill. I got to, but
no.
The first time I had to, like, I was just so hyped. Like I wanted to get out there. I mean, I played pretty well, but.
Did you get a good look at speaking of like losing your emotions, of just thinking of Julius Randle last night? Did you get a good look at that? That didn't seem appropriate.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to do anything anyway. Like his team was holding him back. He wasn't going to get to Scott Foster. So
yeah, that was a wild situation.
I mean, travel.
Yeah, it was a travel.
And lose possession of the ball.
He alighted. Did you see the report afterwards? Scott Foster used the word alight and alighting. I don't even know what the word means.
What is that? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
If he had gone right back up and then hit a three, like fine, there's at least something to complain about then. But he like took the ball and they called it, but he didn't shoot it back up. Had he shot it and make,
he just looked at Scott. Like,
there's something, yeah. I don't know. That's how I feel.
Another way. Game over. I bowed to their bench when I went down there too.
What's that?
I bowed to their bench when I went down there.
Got him.
Well, and obviously as a Nets show, Theo Pinson, you talked about Theo. Theo was like the best bench celebrator in the NBA. So Theo talks stuff during the game
all the time. And because we have the same agent, we did pre-draft together, so we know each other pretty well. We played each other through college. One thing he said to me last night was, the last time we played in the gym, we was both on the court. What happened? It was UNC versus Miami. And they beat us. It was the year they won the championship. I'm like, I won the championship. Of course y'all supposed to beat us. But I had 21 on you. So like, it is what it is.
No disrespect to Theo. He is not a guy that gets a ton of burn. How do you talk that amount of shit and not get minutes? That's or maybe that's like the best way to talk shit. He's just good at it though.
He's just good at it. You don't even think about him not playing. Like, he's just good at it.
Yeah.
You played at Miami, ACC. Do college rivalries transfer over to the NBA? Like, do you hate Duke guys? Like Grayson Allen, you see him and you want to trip him?
Not really. I mean, I think that all ended during pre-draft because like all those guys like I was with, like we all signed a CAA, so we all did pre-draft together. So
who was part of your pre-draft group?
Devontae Graham, Theo, Grayson, Colin, Jaren, Keita Bates Diop, Chemezi Metu. It was like a lot. Jerome Robinson.
So when you see Grace, like, did it annoy you to get to know Grayson Allen and be like, he's not as bad as he seems?
Yeah, he's not that bad. He's really not that bad. He's actually a good dude. So like the stuff I see about him, like it's not really him, but he does show out on the court sometimes. So
yeah,
but it's not him at all. He's a good dude.
Yeah, because he was just in a long line of Duke villains, and
everybody like
the greatest.
They love Duke, or you really hate Duke. So he just got the bad side of it.
So what we have coming up is obviously we're waiting. There's trade deadline, and then the season. Like after the trade deadline is when the focus really goes to what spots are people getting in the standings. You talked about defense, and obviously defense is the big thing. Do you yourself, because you're the defense guy, you're the guy who comes in and plays D. Do you take it personally when you hear people say the Nets can't play defense, or do you think it? I'm not saying it's all about you, but what I'm saying is like, do you take it upon yourself to basically prove everyone wrong and be like, yeah, we can play defense? It's no big deal.
Not really. I don't really pay attention to it. I just think we got to go out there and show that we can get stops and just defense. We just got to play with energy and communicate. That's literally all we have to do. And sometimes we don't do that, so teams go off on us. But then when we do it, teams don't score 100 or they score like 105, 102. So if we do that, we're going to be good.
You guys have been better. There's this stats website called Cleaning the Glass, which tracks a bunch of trends that's been going on in the NBA. And I think something like over the past 3 weeks, you guys have been just above middle of the pack, like 12th overall in defense.
Yeah.
The team has gotten better. Why has the team gotten better, do you think? What have you guys been doing better at defense?
We've been going over a lot more rotations in practice. And then communication is key for us on the defensive end. If we're not talking, they're going to have slips. They're going to get easy layups. They're going to get offensive rebounds. So once we limit those, the big thing was offensive rebounds at first. So once we limit to those, we were good.
Yeah. I mean, rebounding, it's like this, it's such an old school thing, but it matters.
It matters. It's huge.
Particularly for a team that can at times, struggle in D. Like if you don't secure that rebound, then you're usually giving up an easy basket and
easy layup. And then like we just get in a scoring match because like nobody's stopping us from scoring.
What is it like being on the floor with that in that moment when, like, Kyrie had a ridiculous move last night? I don't know if you're on the floor for that, but when he had that,
quickly,
yeah,
you just see that every day. Like if you watch our bench, like we see that every day, and like we don't react right away because like it happens all the time.
I was looking at the bench, being like, how are these guys not blow? But yeah, you guys see it every day,
all the time, and it's still ridiculous. But did you see the plays that he was making after the timeout?
Yeah.
Like the left hand floater over whoever the big man was last night. It was wild.
Yeah. So when you see that, like, there's times when you can tell the opposing team gets almost like beaten down by the amount of excellence that you guys have, particularly when Durant, the few games when you guys had Durant with Irving and James, it's like there's always a stretch in every game that you guys have won where your stars put on like 8 buckets in a row that is just like unstoppable,
and it's always
the
like
other team quits
in different ways too. It'll be like Durant's way of doing it and Kyrie, and then like here's Bruce Brown, which is cherry picking like with these like whole court outlet passes from James Harden, which is just humiliating at times.
Yeah, I mean, I sit there and I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, how the hell do you even guard any of these? Like when KD's coming down and does a hezzy pull from 3, he's 7 feet. How do you guard that?
Yeah,
James a step back, you can't block it or you're gonna foul him. And then Kyrie he'll score over anybody. He doesn't care if you're a big man. He'll be in a pay and fade and get a bucket. So
yeah. For the Harden and you connection, is it all? Do you guys like talk this stuff through, or is it all just eyes, like reading the wind? Like how?
I think we starting to talk some stuff through, but I know like when he wants to screen now. So he wants it like quicker because sometimes they try to pick him up. So like at half court, and then as I hit it, I slip because sometimes they're gonna double and I'm gonna be wide open, or I get behind the roller and it's an easy layup.
Do you know that this was from Jared Dubin? He's a basketball writer. That you and Harden's pick and rolls are the most efficient in the NBA. Like if you cancel out like everyone that really they don't do it that much, the small groupings.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Does it surprise you? Does it
no, like it really doesn't, because like I'm literally getting easy buckets. Like they're wide open layups. Like it's either a floater or a layup, literally every time. So it's like pick your poison. Like, you want me to get a layup, or you want Joe Harris to hit a corner 3? Like, which one do you want?
It's funny talking to you because it's almost like, to play with those guys, it just makes life easier for, like, you talk about Joe. Like, Joe has obviously always been a great 3-point shooter in the NBA, but this year he's not having to do the JJ Redick stuff where he's running around screens all the time. He's just kind of setting up in spots, moving without the ball lightly, and then being open.
Joe really has a crazy finish ability. I didn't know he can lay the ball up like that. His layup package is crazy. He doesn't miss a lot of layups.
Well, yeah, and like he's actually also been, if you like look at stats, he's always been a really good finisher around the basket himself. I mean, the whole team is, you guys are all pretty solid on that mark. Who has surprised you on the team, by the way? Like before you came over, I mean, there's you guys had the Shamet, Joe Harris, and Nick Claxton, and there's Jeff Green. Obviously, you didn't play with a bunch of these guys before. I mean, is anyone like you didn't realize they had that in their game or something like that?
Personally, I haven't seen a lot who was killing in training camp was Reggie Perry.
Oh yeah,
was killing in training camp.
Interesting.
Like, what did he look like?
Yeah.
He was doing a little bit of everything. He was shooting threes, jump hooks, killing DJ low key.
Yeah, because coming out of training camp, Reggie Perry was in like every press release. Like it really felt like he was going to be like
he was literally killing training camp. So be on the lookout for him.
So we had and I did want to ask this too because we talked about that James Edwards III article where you broke down like playing D against Harden. We've assessed. Brian and I have tried to assess what is different about Harden, right? Because he's playing, I think, drastically differently than he played in Houston. For someone who played against him when he was in Houston, now playing with him in Brooklyn, what is the difference? Like, how is he getting into his actions? I think he's passing a lot more, and he's getting into his actions quicker. But what are you seeing?
He just doesn't have to score as much. Like when you play Houston, you know he's gonna have to put up 40 for them to win.
Yeah.
Now he doesn't have to do that. There's other people out there who can score the ball. So when I guarded him, I was like, all right, I'm gonna force him right. Capella's in the paint. My big has my help, so I'm just trying to force him into those floaters. If he makes it, he makes it. If he misses, he misses. But he's not shooting. He's not making any threes. So I'm staying close to him. But now you can't really do that because we have knockdown shooters. We have people who can score, and then I'm screening and getting behind the roller, so he could just hit me for an easy layup.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I didn't really love watching Harden in Houston. Like that's not my style of ball. But him in Brooklyn, like you see, like there's a weight lifted off his shoulders. It's allowed him to kind of get back to what, like a more of a flow of the offense type deal. I mean, in him, and I think Kyrie hasn't got enough credit for, like, over his whole career, he is, even with LeBron, he had wanted to still be like a point guard guy, and he really isn't a point guard anymore. He's a two.
I think Kai has accepted the fact that he can be himself and just score the ball. Like Kai's a great scorer. Like he's one of the best scorers I've ever seen.
He could be the best microwave scorer. Like in
so it's
basketball.
like now he's accepted the fact that he can score. He doesn't have to be the one and get everybody else involved, and he could just get a buck whenever he wants to.
And he's still getting assists. Like that's like it's not even like he's just like stopped. He turned off the faucet.
Yeah, numbers exactly the same.
But he's doing. It seems like he's comfortable in the arrangement that he's in.
For sure.
I'm so excited to see Durant come back.
Me too, man. I was thinking about it when I was shooting this morning. I'm like, we are really fucking good. We're winning all these games.
It could be a magical season here, Bruce. This could be a magical season. I'm just saying. I feel it. Yeah.
BG's coming back healthy, so.
I joke with Brian that Durant should come off the bench. Your starting five he should be a sixth man for you guys. You guys have got it rolling.
Hey,
do you agree, Bruce?
No, I do not. I'll come off the bench like Kay do his thing, and I'll come off the bench, be that spark, go back to my role, and I'll get a quick little 8 points.
Yeah.
Somehow, some way.
Are you feeling sorry, Mike, are you feeling like have you noticed that the media's picked up on the Bruce Brown phenomenon? Have you felt that?
It's wild because my agency always calls me like people wanted to talk to me. I was like, dang, nobody. This is different because nobody want to talk to me in Detroit if I had a good game. So, but yeah, I love it though.
Yeah.
What with this season, because we'll let you go in a minute here. With this season, as we're looking forward, how much do you guys think about the certain teams? I won't even name them, but like the certain teams you guys may have to face in the playoffs. Are you still focused on game to game, or like is in the back of your head like we need to play better defense because we're going to play these?
Yeah, I think
guys,
we think that we need to tighten up on a few things for the long run. But I don't think we just think of specific teams. Maybe if we're playing them at the time, we'll be like, all right, we'll see them down the line. So we got to lock in, see what they got to do, and then be better on defense. Just prepare for the future. But I don't think we lock in like at the moment and think about them though.
What are we going to see from Blake? What do we expect?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Yeah. It's the right take. Yeah,
I've seen two Blakes. I've seen All-Star, All NBA Blake, and I've seen Blake when he's hurt. So
yeah,
honestly,
you were right there for those 2 seasons. Yeah,
he was going crazy my rookie year.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't know. He's coming back healthy, so you can get the crazy Blake, or now he's gonna have like a lesser role. So honestly, I don't even know. I'm like, excited to see.
You know, it's funny. Last night there was Nash took a really good timeout when the Knicks were pressing you guys pretty hard at the end of the game. That was a crazy defensive sequence near the end of the game. But I remember early in the year when a guy becomes a new head coach like Steve Nash, one of the fears is that he doesn't know how to call timeouts. It's a thing.
He never used to call timeouts.
Yeah. What? So it is unusual though how he became head coach. Like, it's just an unusual path.
Mm-hmm.
Is he different? I mean, you've been with Larinaga.
Yep.
Dwayne Casey.
Yep.
Is that, and then Nash, right? And that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And they're probably all different, but does Nash feel like, is he really all that dramatically different from what you're used to as a coach, or is he like a coach?
He's definitely more calm. Definitely more of like a player's coach, because he's played and been MVP. But yeah, he's definitely more calm. He's definitely different than Dwayne Casey. I'll tell you that. Dwayne Casey was just on my ass a lot.
Yeah.
Coach Nash kind of just gives me like a feel out there and let me do what I want to do. He knows my game pretty well, so he knows like when he'll drop a play, he'll know like, all right, James does this, you cut here. So really, he just kind of gives me like a green light on the offensive end, and defensively, ultimate green.
Is it true that Dwayne Casey gives you an index card with what he thinks your role on the team is? I've heard this before, but is this a true story?
Yeah, he gave me mine. Mine was like elite defender, opportunity scorer.
That's not, there's something there.
But my first year, it was like elite defender, and like that was it.
Yeah. Then you get the opportunity
show up on time,
and I was like, that's it. Like, and then Detroit was definitely tough because I couldn't shoot above the break threes. I couldn't shoot floaters.
Yeah.
Is that meaning they didn't let you? Like they were like,
no. He actually told me. He said, "Don't."
Yeah, don't do that.
One time in Brooklyn, we were in Brooklyn. I shot above the break three. I missed, and at this time, I'm shooting like 36% from three. And he took me out and said, "Don't shoot that shot. You only shoot from the corner."
Damn. Is that index card in a drawer somewhere? Is that like
I don't know
like
where
a voodoo doll got some pins in it?
I left all that stuff in Detroit.
Yeah, good. Where it belongs. Yeah.
And I would say, like, so obviously D'Antoni's on the Nets bench, and the great thing about the 7 seconds or less Suns that D'Antoni was with Nash created. The whole point was, and Raja Bell has talked about this, open shot, shoot it. Doesn't matter.
Literally, they'll tell me if I pass up a shot, I'll come to, why didn't you shoot it? You're passing up shots, shoot the ball. So that just gave me more confidence, because like I'm a confident shooter. Like once I see one go in, I might hit 3, 4, 5. But if I miss my first one, miss my second one, then I might not take the third, fourth. So they just keep giving me confidence. So I like that a lot.
So if Brian and I could hand you a index card for our goals for you, it would be shut down Embiid, shut down Giannis, shut down LeBron. That's all you need to do. Just those three. Just 3 things. It's a short list.
The only person I haven't guarded was Embiid, but I've guarded Giannis and Brown.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Not scored on me. Giannis, I think I caught him a few times.
I gotta go back and watch that. Those clips.
He tried to do fadeaways. It was last year. He tried to do 2 fadeaways and missed both of them.
Who, Giannis?
Nah, Brown.
Or Brown?
Yeah.
He's afraid of you. So
yeah, force the fadeaway.
All right, go ahead. Yeah. I just put all my weight on him. If he spent off me, it was a dunk though. So good thing he didn't.
All right. Well, Bruce, we appreciate you. I'm just telling you, everyone, Nets fans have absolutely appreciated what you've done, because this team does need defense and needs guys like you who can go out there, and that's the focus. And it's just been exciting. It's just been a joy.
Yeah,
to watch you turn into the league's best center.
Yeah, not trying to blow smoke up your ass, but it is a love phenomenon in Nets fandom for sure. Like I have not seen this before. So
hey, I seen one thing on Twitter. They said every time I make a face, it was like the what's the cartoon from SpongeBob?
What?
With the long nose? What's his name?
Squidward.
Yeah,
Squidward. I've seen that on it was like I make a face every time I score.
Well, there's that famous photo of you. You've probably seen it, right? Where you're like holding a ball and your face is like you're like shocked or something. I'll send it to you. Don't worry about it. But anyways, congrats. Keep it up. We're so excited, and hopefully you guys will win the championship. That's all you need to do.
Yeah, we need that. We need the ring.
Yeah, and come back next year. Do it all over again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.